So I'm going to start things off here with a little bit of a retroactive introduction, because not only did I manage to flub the audio on multiple clips in this video, but I also managed to delete the entire first session, which equated to about 40 minutes. So the other night when I was trying to edit this footage together, I sat there, one, in denial, and two, having an existential crisis about what to do with this video, because without an introduction, the rest of it just doesn't work. So this is my solution. It's not a good one, but it's going to have to do for now. I found this logo when I was looking for another logo. Both of them happened to appear on the same concert poster, and I did not know the name of the band. I didn't want to look up a higher resolution version of the image because that would involve finding the band's name. At the end of the first session, I settled on the solution Cantations, spelled with a K. My rudimentary understanding and knowledge of Spanish includes the word cantar, which is to sing. So it kind of made sense for a band. I mean, obviously not a metal band, and definitely not a metal band with a logo of this caliber, but I thought it was a good start. So I sent that solution off to one of my design friends to verify it against the band's actual name. And as it turns out, I had just about half of it correct. Everything from the first T onward until the N was correct. There is no S at the end, surprisingly, despite the fact that there is clearly an S-shaped form at the end. I was also informed that the band's name is a real word. So that narrowed down my options considerably, albeit there is still quite a bit for me to figure out. But that's where I left off at this point in the video. So I was guessing words like reputation, anything ending in T-A-T-I-O-N, and attempting to fit the first half of those letters into the rest of the logo. I've gotten pretty good at managing my recordings and recording settings, but stuff like this does still fall through the cracks every once in a while. I apologize. I will take even greater care in the future to not delete footage. I honestly don't know how that happens. But thank you for your understanding, and enjoy the rest of the video. I think the only reason I'm partial towards mutation is because of the nature of the logo. Fragmentation. Guess I'll write that one down too. Fragmentation. Okay, it's 12. I'm shutting it off. Good night. So I would have continued trying to decipher this, as I normally do, but won't name who, because it's not their fault. Somebody recommended a band in the comments. I had not heard of them before, and I looked them up, and what do you know? It's this band. So I know the name now. I just need to fit the letters into the logo, and that's not going to be easy. So the name of the band is an actual word, and that is Crepitation. Crepitation. 11 letters. I was right, there is in fact an R in here. It's not where I thought it was. No, you know what? With some of my interpretations, I was like kind of getting there with some of the words, because I was trying like a P or something right in here. Okay, I'm starting to see it. I'm willing to bet the O is not as wide as I had drawn it previously. Am I sure it's not crepitation with a K? Like, the word is actually spelled with a C, but it could be a K. I am not seeing this R. Suppose it could also be this. That's a lot more believable, but I hate it. Is there some sort of gimmick I'm not getting with these extra curves? Or like this big curve in the front? Let's try shifting things over here. So the T, it would actually still be there. It would just be shorter. And then the I would be kind of just nested under here. Where's the freaking R? I don't know. Oh, wait. No, wait a minute. Actually be kind of cool if this is the case. Also, where does the E go? Oh, well, I guess that would explain this. Yeah, okay. I'm on board with that. Hesitant to just reuse parts of this for the E. Like, this is, I think, where we had the E before. It would kind of make sense. See, part of the problem is there's like a whole bunch of different lines that are almost at the same angle here. It's like I'm doing a frickin', I don't know, derivative? Is that it? I tried relearning some math the other day, actually yesterday, and it did not go well. Say math, I mean calculus. So I had to look up derivatives and integrals, and none of that stuff looked familiar to me at all. I don't know what happened to it, what depths of my brain that sank into, if it's even there at all. Calculus and metal logo deciphering do not belong together. I'm going to try one more interpretation to see if I can get this thing right. It's the space between, well, for one, this TI thing is not cutting it for me. I'm bamboozled, I'll say it. So anything I can turn into an R, like a capital R. Wait a minute. E there, and then... The only reason that looked reasonable is because I messed up my drawing spectacularly. That looks so silly. Do not understand what's going on at the end here. There's just like this whip, 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 and then a little bit of that whip, and then here, and then here. Oh, and don't forget this one. It's like the designer got bored and they're like, I don't think there's enough lines in this logo. I'm going to add more just to screw with that guy Max somewhere down the line, because I know he's going to end up looking at this. It was all for me. It's all the whole world's out to get me, man. I'm going to take another look at this tomorrow. This is so goofy. All right, back on this crepitation nonsense after a prolonged and much needed break. I'm going to just pull up a better version of the logo that will hopefully aid in our haphazard decision making. Correct? No, it's not spelled with a K. I need to remind myself of that because it looks like a K, but it's actually a C. Wow. Okay. Wait, hold on. Let's see if my perspective has changed at all since the last time I looked at this. I don't think it has. This is not getting us anywhere. Never mind. That's also not official according to what the post said. Sick fan edit of our logo by Cod of Cod's Metal. Hold on. What's an episode of Deciphering Metal Logos on YouTube without a little bit of sidetrack? Oh my goodness. Inosteliths? Inostelith? I can't pronounce that. Oh, this is fucking awesome. Grave altar. Damn, I don't know if I see it, but this would definitely be one worth looking at somewhere in the future. Can you tell I'm procrastinating? This is awesome! Okay, I don't know how bands get away with this kind of imagery on Google Images, but I wish they didn't. I wish I didn't have to see that. On further observation, I am very tempted to just say this is a lowercase r. That looks so wrong! Why would you ever use a lowercase r? They're so indistinguishable. If that is the case, then that's the only lowercase letter in the entire logo. I'm also not very confident in any sort of uppercase R form that I've identified so far. That is my proposition for the lowercase r. That is not the window I was trying to open. I don't want to crop the thing. I don't know how to use this program anymore. Who hurt this designer for them to want to create such a pain in my rear end? I mean, there are a number of different ways I could work the R in there, but I don't like any single one of them. As has become the tradition, I'm going to try to get in touch with the logo designer through messaging this band and see whether my efforts to decipher this logo were in vain or not. And what did they say? The original logo was designed by one of the founding members, but we no longer have contact with them. I don't know what that means exactly. I don't know if it means they have beef with them or if the guy left on some other terms. I don't know. I don't want to pursue it further. I don't feel like that would be respectful. They did say the more recent version of the logo was reworked a few years back by Cod's Metal Logos on Instagram. I saw it pop up. Where did it go? Cod's Metal Logo. It literally just has the handle Metal Logos. That's awesome. Yeah, it's this new one right here. This is what they're talking about. I'm trying to compare the two. This one's different in some weird ways. We got the new version of Crepitation's logo coming in hot. So much more texture and grunge on this one. I love it. Let me just show them side by side and do some annotations because this guy is obviously pretty adept at metal logo designs. This could be his own reinterpretation of the original logo. It's based on this. It looks like the P is here, and then I'm just noticing this little separation right here, or I guess right here, that turns this into an I. And in that case, we got E right here. I don't know why I drew it like that, but I guess if we operate, there's this at the end here that doesn't mean anything. So maybe we should kind of like take off the same chunk on this end if we assume that this is actually intended to be symmetrical. Is that's the only way, like pushing all of the letters inwards from the left side this far would make sense. Because previously I had the P right here. I guess the T just kind of crosses over there, and there's the second T here. I don't know, I just feel like these are a little bit more nicely treated and separated. This could be the I. We want to consider it lowercase and consistent with the other one. Still not entirely sure about the first half. I'm not seeing anything in here that I can be confident in saying is the R, without there being a big chunk of space between the R and the E. They're all physically connected, but like they're different strokes, and that doesn't really look right. This is a really tough one. I mean, I guess I could try contacting the designer of this one. I don't know if he like spoke with the original designer or if he has his own interpretation in mind. I mean, I can't imagine he wouldn't. I think that's what I'll do. I'll try to get in contact with the guy who made this. Again, Todd's Metal Logos. No, it wasn't Todd. Cod, excuse me. Cod's Metal Logos, and see what he has to say about this. I'm very curious. I've gotten in touch with Cod's Metal Logos, or simply at Metal Logos on Instagram. I'm just gonna assume his name is Cod. I probably should have asked him. Anyways, we chatted for a little while about this logo and some other things. What we settled on here is that these two interpretations are roughly correct. Since he's not the original logo designer, he is not exactly aware of where the letters are himself, so he had to estimate just as much as I did. And this update you see at the top here is actually just kind of like a stylistic update. So he didn't necessarily need to like redo it or anything. He just added his own artistic flair to it, if you will. That's my understanding, at least. Let me pull up what he sent me exactly. We both agreed that the R is very much unclear and that whatever's going on at the end here is beyond all comprehension. So his interpretation was roughly like this, which he actually revised after sending the original one to me based on what I had sent him. C is the same as mine. The R is a little different. I'm not sure how he got this arc up here, or if that's just supposed to be this line right here. We're both on the same page about the bottom horizontal line of the E and the leg of the R being just conjoined or being the same thing. He suggested that the E is right here, still uppercase, and that the P is right here. What was my original interpretation? Yeah, the P was smaller, the E was further over, the R was also much smaller. There are a lot of elements that are consistent between his and mine. Mostly like the second half of the logo, like that's the same for both of us, I think. Because his P is much further over here. He suggested that the I is then a separate line down here, which is true because that line ends right here approximately, and then this line for the upper T is not at the same angle or like connected to that necessarily. So it's a reasonable assumption. I said this is really just a stylistic update, but he did make some small changes to potentially clarify where the letter forms are. The R he's made very pointy, but also maintained the curved leg out to the center area of the logo. The E, again, shared part of the leg of the R, and instead arced over up here. We both had the I crossing over the T. Well, I don't know why I'm saying it like he was also guessing. Like, this is literally what it's supposed to be in his eyes. So, but yeah, everything that I guessed is spot on for the rest of it. Yeah, this is, I don't know what the original designer was thinking. I don't think we're going to be able to get in contact with them ever. I'm still really angry that the first letter's not a K. Like, I'm wondering if they started by replacing the C with a K, and then maybe they decided that's not a good idea for, like, marketing purposes or communication purposes because it's already hard to read and it's already a word people aren't familiar with, so they changed it back to a C. I don't know, just a guess. This has been Crepitation, the updated logo we're looking at here being by Cod's Metal Logos, or just at Metal Logos on Instagram. I encourage you to go check out that page if you get a chance because there's a lot of cool stuff to look at there. Also, keep an eye on Instagram for the upcoming episode of Deciphering Metal Logos that this logo will be featured in to see my final walkthrough and ultimately the rating that I decide to give it. I hope you found this process entertaining or useful in some way, shape, or form, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.